Acho que se você me perguntasse, desde o início da minha carreira, o que eu queria, ser um legado. Então é por isso que eu sempre lutei. Eu não queria só ser o campeão, eu quero deixar um legado.
Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, here is Jose Aldo!
Some fighters talk their way into greatness, others fight their way through it. Jose Aldo didn't need words, he let his legacy speak. These are the 10 moments when Jose Aldo shocked the MMA world and reminded us why his name belongs among the all-time greats. We're kicking things off by going all the way back to the WEC. Before the UFC had a featherweight division, this was the big stage, and Jose Aldo was still a rising name. Cub Swanson was a legit contender, dangerous and experienced, but none of that mattered. Aldo came flying out the gate with a jumping knee and ended it in just 8 seconds. It was violent, fast, and unforgettable. This was the night everyone realized this kid was special.
He terrorized the 145-pound division for years. Such a great ambassador of the sport and a great champion.
5 months later, Aldo got a shot at the belt. Mike Brown was no joke. He beat Uriah Faber twice and looked unstoppable. He was the champ, the grinder, the top dog. And if that name sounds familiar, it should. Mike Brown is now the head coach at American Top Team. But back then, he was just another victim. Aldo stuffed his takedowns,
Body lock. Look at the scrambling game, Jose Aldo. Great.
picked him apart, and finished him in round 2. That night, the title changed hands and the division had a new king.
So give us a prediction here. You can't sit on the fence.
I hate giving prediction. But if I had to pick, if I had to bet my life savings on it, I'd go with Aldo. Just because he beat the crap out of me.
Faber was still the face of the lighter weight classes. He was a main star for WEC for years. But Aldo didn't care about names, he cared about legacies. And that's exactly what he took from Faber. He threw over 30 leg kicks, turned Faber's league leg purple, took away his movement, and made him limp through 5 rounds. It was clinical, mean, and it left no doubt Aldo wasn't just champion, he was the future.
And he started landing these kicks. I mean, it literally felt like a bat was hitting my leg. I remember going back to the corner after the first round, and I had trained for defense for that. I had trained to move my leg and to push kick, and didn't really want to check him, but doing some checking, etc. And the ball on the side of my leg from the 2 kicks that landed made it so I couldn't bend my knee, and that changed the game for me in that sport, or that changed the game for me in that fight. I literally was, hobbling after the 3rd round.
When the WEC merged into the UFC, Aldo was handed the featherweight belt, but now he had to prove himself to a new audience. Mark Homnick was a clean striker, super technical, and this fight was in front of 55,000 fans in Toronto. Aldo dropped him, caused a massive hematoma on his forehead, and controlled the fight everywhere it went. Even when it slowed down late, he had still done enough for a decision win. His UFC debut wasn't flashy, but it was dominant. Message sent.
It was something special, but just because for that fight, it was 15 years in the making for me of training, competing, and then finally getting to fight. And it was the biggest UFC of all time, 55,000 people, and the show was an hour away from my hometown. In the first show in Ontario, so there's a lot of firsts, and just to be a part of that card, let alone to come home with the fight of the night, and people having the memorable fight that it was. It was something that, I always cherished in my career, and that was definitely like the pinnacle of it.
Henny Florian was on his 3rd and final shot at UFC Gold. He had the experience, the tools, but Aldo had the answers. He shut down takedowns, beat him in the stand-up, controlled the pace from start to finish. It was clean, professional, cold. And it turned out to be Florian's last fight. For Aldo, it was just another title defense.
You seem disappointed. I fought very hard, trained extremely hard, wasn't successful. You know, that's it. You know, I think against a guy like Aldo or against the elite, you got to mix it up better. And I wasn't successful on the wrestling end of it. You know, I think that was the difference. And made some mistakes out there to pull it out.
Chad Mendes came in undefeated, a powerful wrestler with knockout power, a real threat. But Aldo didn't flinch. With 1 second left in the first round, Aldo launched a knee that ended it instantly. Then came the moment. He sprinted into the crowd, into the arms of his people in Rio, one of the most iconic celebrations in UFC history.
Aldo's very explosive and he's dangerous on the feet everywhere.
Frankie Edgar had just lost the lightweight title and dropped down to 145 to make a statement. But Aldo made sure that didn't happen. He shut down Frankie's wrestling, landed the cleaner shots. He made one of the toughest guys in the sport look like he was a step behind the whole fight. It wasn't even close. Aldo proved he wasn't just the best featherweight, he was one of the smartest.
You know, I felt I was prepared in all areas, you know. He's one of the top pound for pound, everything he just said, and I mean, he brought everything.
The Korean Zombie is known for taking punishment and walking through fire. But Aldo doesn't throw fire, he throws bombs. Even with a broken foot, Aldo controlled the fight. When Zombie's shoulder popped out in the 4th round, Aldo swarmed and finished the job. It wasn't just smart, it was savage. That's the difference between a fighter and a champion.
He was most scared of Jose Aldo because he was really scared of getting knocked out by Jose Aldo. So in that sense, Jose Aldo is the top rank.
The rematch was nothing like the first fight. This time, Mendes came prepared. He dropped Aldo early, pushed the pace, made it dirty. But Aldo fired back with everything he had. They traded knockdowns, punches, moments of chaos. And over 5 insane rounds, Aldo pulled ahead. No flying knee, no clean knockout, just heart, skill, will. One of the greatest fights in featherweight history, and Aldo was still king.
All right, I'm here with the challenger, Chad Mendes. Chad, how badly were you hurt at the end of round 1?
He rung my bell for sure. I was, rushing to get my wits back about me, but it was that fun, dude.
By 2018, people had counted Aldo out. Back-to-back TKO losses, no belt, no hype, just questions. Jeremy Stephens was on a knockout streak and looking to end Aldo's run for good. But Aldo stayed calm, picked his shots, and landed a liver shot so clean it folded Stephens like a chair. The fight was over, and Aldo, he dropped to his knees in tears. It wasn't about titles anymore. It was about pride. Proving the fire was still there, and it was.
So in some respects, the Jose Aldo loss was one of the best things to ever happen to you.
For sure. 100%. It was a big breakthrough in my life where, I had to figure out these patterns of why am I failing at my biggest moment.
From 2009 to 2018, Jose Aldo shocked the MMA world again and again. With knockout, with strategy, with grace under pressure, he ruled for 10 years, faced every contender, and made greatness look effortless. Now that he is retired, the numbers will be debated, The rankings will shift, but the legacy, that stays.